Life of Herod the Great, a novel by Zora Neale Hurston, edited and with commentary by Deborah G. Plant, performed by Blair Underwood and Robin Miles.
There is no agony like bearing an untold story inside you. Zora Neale Hurston. Editor's note. The Life of Herod the Great is the presentation of Hurston's unfinished and salvaged novel. Synthesized versions of Hurston's preface and introduction are included in this audiobook following the epilogue. Presentation of the narrative text and the preface and introduction reflects the work-in-progress state of Hurston's novel, and edits have been made to align with conventions of spelling and grammar. The history of Hurston's manuscript includes it being rescued from a fire. Many pages were burnt or singed. Where the missing words and phrases of salvaged pages could be determined by context, they have been edited into the narrative. Preface, 1958, Zora Neale Hurston. Why a Life of Herod the Great? For many valid reasons, the first being that the West, whose every nation professes Christianity, should be better acquainted with the historical Herod, instead of the deliberately folklore Herod. Outside of Herod's connection with Christianity, rarely has an individual appeared who gleamed and glittered from so many facets. He has impressed himself upon the pages of history as an athlete, a soldier of the first class, an equally able administrator, a statesman, a devotee of higher learning, as a great and tragic lover, and as a friend as famous as Damon and Pythian. Few, if any other figures in history have been so fortunately endowed. Herod could not avoid prominence, since his father Antipater was of ducal status in Idumea, and of singular intelligence. Herod's father and grandfather before him were international bankers, and so esteemed for wisdom that they were everywhere sought as counselors to rulers, and so often the hosts or guests of monarchs that both were spoken of as the friends of kings. And the family wealth was counted second between the Euphrates and the Nile. By the wisdom and foresight of Antipater, Herod and his 3 brothers were superb athletes, with Herod excelling the others. By the time that he was 15, he was reputed to be the first horseman of Southwest Asia, and first in the use of the weapons of warfare and the science of combat. Nor could he escape the snares of love with his personal charm and physical endowments. He was over 6 feet tall, with a perfectly proportioned body, and with features so harmonious that he was said to be the handsomest man of his time on either side of the Mediterranean. And like both his father and his grandfather, he was an alumnus of the University of Damascus, which was devoted to Greek philosophy and other Greek concepts of learning. Then there is the pretense that he was hated by the nation, when in fact his popularity was enormous. One historian, Flavius Josephus, admits this grudgingly by the statement, "Because of his splendid appearance, and because he took such good care of them and tolerated no nonsense." And in spite of the fact that the names of Herod the Great and certain of his posterity have been more closely connected with Christianity in the first century of its existence, only the well-informed divine can distinguish him from his sons or grandsons. This confusion has been achieved by calling them all Herod when they had distinctive names of their own. The result is that the average reader cannot tell the acts of one from another.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?